Merry Christmas, flooring family. Welcome to the huddle. We're here even the day after Christmas to discuss maintaining forward progress in your flooring career. With me, Staples, Mr. Daniel, and Jose Gonzalez up in Grand Rapids.
You can just call us the Vatos.
The Vatos from the north. Funny story, I was up there and it was snowing, and now it's nice up there, and I'm back in Wichita and it's snowing here. So I'm not sure if it's me or what, but it was a pleasure hanging out with you guys. And
Yes, sir.
so Merry Christmas. How'd your guys' Christmas go?
Doing good. Ate a
Yeah.
lot of food. Still have a lot of leftovers in the fridge.
Hey man, that's one of the best things about Christmas is the leftovers, man. I'll get home tonight. About day 3, kind of get sick of them, but tonight I'm kind of anxious to get to the house and see what the wife scurries up from all the leftovers.
That's the best,
Right.
the best stuff, though.
Uh-huh. That's what I'm
Rollins
talking about.
watching. Hey, Rollin, hope you had a good Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody. Couple quick house what's that called? House cleaning? We'll call
Housekeeping?
it housekeeping. Call them housekeeping. It is housekeeping. Few housekeeping items. First off, the Sims scholarships closed, but we had 22 applicants, which is the highest number, not only that we've had, which we only have 1 year to compare to, but also one of the higher years that the FCICA has had as far as the scholarship's concerned. So thank you everybody for participating. We will be announcing the winner on January 9th on the huddle. So make sure that if you did, enter into that scholarship that you're there. You don't have to be present to win, but you can hear your name announced on that. We'll pull it live.
But we'll like you more if you are there when it's announced.
We'll definitely like you more. And then we're going to be moving into a new kind of platform. Hopefully, you guys will notice a better production coming in 2024 here. And also, we're going to just kind of review 2023, some of the best topics, got the most engagement, and have a little discussion about 2024, where not only where the huddle's going, or this podcast, The Huddle, but also just kind of what we're seeing from economic reports and such. So with that being said, I will start off with bringing up a few of our best topics of last year. So one of the series that I enjoyed the most is called the Relationship Series. We did a 4-part relationship series with your crew, general contractors, homeowners, then your vendors. But some of the best performing was No Wrong Way to Start Your Business, episode 37. Mindset of Success, episode 40, which I'm going to do a plug here. I've actually followed a kind of a routine in my life for the last several years, and have assembled that into a journal that I try to journal daily, try to live my life with intent. So speaking of success, I've started working on a journal to follow the way that I've kind of keep my life in line and keep my smile on my face, even when the days are hard, and running several companies with a ton of employees, and a lot of the stress that goes along with that, how I stay grounded. And so I'm actually going to be publishing that here in a few weeks. I'll show it to you guys, but if you're interested in that journal, I'm going to give away, like, I don't know, 20 free copies. I'm going to send some up to my boys up in Michigan. If they would like to have them. I guess I didn't even ask, but I'll send them to you, and you can give them away if you don't want them. How's that?
That's fine. That's fine, brother. We'll give it away to good people.
There you go. You guys have good practices in your daily life already, but if you don't, and you want to live your life a little more intently, with a little more intention, this has just been the practice that has helped me. And I wanted to build it for myself to put it all into one deal where I'm not writing in multiple books and multiple, a journal here,
Mhm.
goals here and this there. And I put it all into one book with one layout. And so it's pretty cool. I'm excited to share that with everybody. It will be on Amazon for purchase and in our store. Maybe if Preferred likes it, they'll throw it in their store. But uh,
Put
it's
wherever you
it's
want.
really helped me. So anyway, that's a shameless plug. Uh, but the mindset of success, we talked a lot about things, and a lot of that is in that journal. So episode 47, the impact of technology on the flooring industry. That's a big one. We're going to have to revisit that in 2024 because, as we stated in that podcast, technology is always changing. It's always
Always
improving.
constant evolution, man. It's,
It
I
happens so
mean,
fast, doesn't it?
yeah, I
Probably
mean,
already changed since that podcast.
well, we get
I-
emails, just from the software, just on the updates. This is what's happening. This is what's going to be changing. And the crazy thing is that once these things start changing, there's really no turning back, right? I mean, just think of it in
It's
terms
not,
of the subscription model. Like QuickBooks, for instance, was before it was just a straight up program. Now it's a subscription model with online, and they're changing everything over to that model, and people are really angry. But
It's because it's
it's
changed.
the evolution of the software. I mean, that's what everyone is running to right now, is that subscription model.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just part of technology in general, whether it's the way that it's paid for or the changes within it. I mean, the cloud, the whole advent of cloud technology that allows us to store everything on servers that are not anywhere near you. That's what the cloud is. Um, I mean, from that to blockchain technology that's starting to find its way into different pieces of technology where you share GPU power from all the computers on the network. It's crazy where it's going, and it's just going to continue. So you don't have to participate in every piece of technology, but I would tell you you should probably get up to speed on these things. AI technology that everybody talks about, it's kind of the buzzword right now, but I've used it. I've worked with ChatGPT pretty in depth, as well as Midjourney, and there's I don't use it a ton, but at the time when I started messing with it, I just want to know about it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't want to get left behind.
And that's what's going to happen is, there's a lot of people out there that are stubborn like I am. I don't say I am, but
You
I
were?
was.
Lucky for your brother.
Yeah, this is like, dude, I know how to do this already, like this, but I already know how to do it. And it's just one of those things where it's change, right? And we don't like change because we're already accustomed to how we're doing it. But the reason that change is coming along is to create efficiencies, right? And as long as you're willing to learn it, you'll become more efficient. It's just a matter of trusting another process.
Yeah. Yeah, at least don't get outpaced by it. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have to adapt everything, but you knowing about it, you might find your own way about using your current systems in a more efficient manner. You just don't understand until you dive into it and try to learn those things. Most of it you can't break. I mean, if you're not going to ruin it, so just get in and play with the stuff, get to know it and get comfortable with it. At the very least, you won't be left behind in conversations about it, and kind of have a little bit of knowledge around it. So yeah, we'll definitely tag back onto that one. Episode 49, the importance of safety protocol and OSHA regulations. Have you guys ever watched that TikTok of the world of OSHA violations and
Oh
Yeah.
like
Come with me.
in a world of OSHA violations?
Yeah,
I
we're
won't try to sing because it's really terrible, but I will tell you that it's pretty funny stuff, and you will find a lot of things in there that you'll be like, my God, I can't believe people do that. But safety is very important. I've shared a few times on this podcast of when I've seen people get injured pretty significantly. I've cut myself, I can't count how many times during the years of installing, smashed fingers and all kinds of stuff that's taught me lessons. So that was a good performer. Building a strong relationship and, oh, I'm sorry, actually, building a strong reputation,
Yeah.
episode 55. That was one of our better ones as well. That to me stands out because everything's about relationships. I mean, I've gotten
Yeah.
close to you guys, and you visited me, and I've visited you, and we've hung out with each other's families, and it's because
Yeah.
we weren't shy to talk to each other at a trade show. That's really where it
Right.
all started from, you know? So building reputation and relationships kind of go hand in hand, probably why I stumbled on that. But that was a well received episode. Another one, balancing work and life.
The one
That's-
that's gonna be the
that's-
hardest one to figure out for sure.
Yeah, technology is easy compared to that one. Although it seems to be one of the reasons you use technology. Can you imagine doing the amount of work we do today without email or something
Oh,
like that, or without digital communication? I mean, we wouldn't be sitting on this podcast, that's for sure, let alone, you know, the efficiencies that all that stuff brought. It's pretty crazy to think of if you think 30 years back, but
It is crazy to think. The technology and how easy the evolution of everything has made it to increase your volume of work, right? Your job becomes easier, so you take on a little bit more. Then something else comes out, makes it easier, so you take on a little bit more. Next thing you
that's
know,
that's the tough thing with balancing.
yeah, and then you compare what one individual does now compared to what one individual did 10 years ago. It's like, man. And now
Yeah,
it's expected. So
technology can play a role in it, but it certainly makes it actually, I think, a little bit harder because it's hard to unplug. You
It
know,
is. It makes it a lot easier to work 24/7.
yep,
Because I mean, I know that we probably touched on it, on a previous podcast, but like when I was on vacation in the Bahamas, it's like I'm there working, everyone's still sleeping, and I'm sitting at the dining room table working, and I mean it paid off. I ended up winning the bid that was due that week, so it's one of those things where it's like it's a blessing and a curse at the same time.
yep, for sure. We'll hit on that one again. I think that's always a good one to revisit each year. Right in line with that is episode 72, which was addressing installer burnout.
yeah,
And
That
I
goes
think
hand
that's,
in hand with the the work-life balance. Rollins
yeah,
said
and
that-
they were both well
Yeah.
received, you know?
Rollins said that we should see what they used to do 140 years ago, which was roughly, I think he was roughly like 50 years in at that point.
and he was like,
Yeah, he was
to see if I should
27. Well, Roland could probably, well, he's always a wealth of knowledge, but I guarantee you, his life has seen all those transformations, and probably ought to be a guest on those episodes.
yeah, 100%.
That dude's always busy traveling to all these certifications and all that, though.
He is. He was just on one not long ago. I seen on Facebook. And kudos to you for always being that guy too, Roland. That's amazing. Another one that was well received was episode 74, A New Generation of Labor. And I think that's just, that's going to be a topic as long as we are probably around,
Yeah.
trying to pull in that new generation of labor. I did watch a deal on I think it was YouTube about the trade wave, they called it. That,
Trade wave?
yeah, just so many people um, who went to college kind of got some, BS degree. In fact, I was talking to my daughter's boyfriend last night, and he was talking about all the guys that went straight to work out of high school. He's got a business degree of some sort, and he's like, they're all doing better than me. It's like they just went and got jobs or got in the trades, and that's often the case, and not just with college, but getting into so many people got into computerized systems and computerized things, and you know
Now
obviously
AI.
now you got AI that's taken over a lot of these. I mean, it can write code, man.
Mm.
um and it's amazing what that thing can do, um as well as like everyday stuff. I've wrote some really complicated formulas in Excel because it helped me to like talk it through and figure out. It's pretty crazy. So anyway, it was talking about the trade wave that a lot of people, are going to realize that, like, uh, in that particular video, it was talking like this guy was saying, the guy or gal, I can't remember, but talking about how they're financially can't afford this and can't afford that, and people are in their comments like, I'm doing just fine. I'm a carpenter, or I'm doing just fine. I'm an iron worker,
Well, I
and
think you can almost look at that and kind of see how, a degree is almost the same thing as a certification. We always say certification, we always preach education, and it's the same thing, right? Just because you have that piece of paper doesn't mean that you're any better than that person next to you. It's what are you going to do with that piece of paper, and how are you going to market yourself and, learn even more to be able to be like, I do have this piece of paper, but I'm better because of this,
Yeah.
let me show you what I can do. And it's kind of the same thing. It's that that degree only gets you so far. It gets your foot in the door, but you still got to prove yourself. The same thing as a certification. It's only a piece of paper until you show people exactly what you're worth.
Yeah, yeah, same. And,
yeah, it's a good point.
I wonder if there's a way to pull like a non-biased metric on the success rate of certain degrees in certain areas. Because like
Oh, they have
if you
it.
pull it from the university that you're getting ready to attend, it's totally different than if you pull it from like a national one. It's like how it like who's creating this
Well,
for
I
you
think
guys?
all they keep track of the universities is how many people get hired right out of the school, right?
Yeah, but it's got I'm saying like into the field and the field that they went to school for, and then I
Well,
guess
something like 70% of people do not have jobs in their
Field of
degree
study.
field. Yeah, in
mhm,
their field of study. So that's pretty telling right there. I think another thing, to your point, Daniel, that should be thought about is the one thing you don't get in college as easily as you do in the trades is the experience with those things.
yeah,
So you can mesh experience and education together, so you're applying that. So if you're in a field that you can go out and get internships, then yeah, and a lot of those are free, whereas in the trades you get paid for that time. But internships are kind of like our paid trainings, which most of the trades, if you're getting a training, and while you're getting your years of experience and you're getting your certifications and different trainings throughout your life of your experience, um, I mean, that's where kind of the rubber meets the road and you become real valuable.
Right. Jorge's on here says happy holidays, and he actually went to school for pharmaceuticals and worked in inpatient pharmacy for years. So and now he's that carpet guy, man.
Yeah.
Some of the work that he does on Facebook, man, that stuff is amazing. I like binding, serging, and all that custom runner work.
his nickname should be
Yeah.
Sergio.
Very Sergio. He's very talented, no doubt about it. And he's got I'll tell you one thing he's got too is a great attitude. I like that
Oh
guy a
yeah,
lot. He's always had such a positive attitude. And but yeah, that goes to show you, like, he's got a degree in pharmaceuticals and he's laying carpet, but he loves it. He's an absolute master at it. And I think if you master anything, you're gonna find success. So let me see what there was one
Making the industry one, number 77.
making the industry one. I think that's got a lot to do with the at the end of the day, coming together. We know we're a bit fragmented in the flooring industry compared to a lot of the others, and that fragmentation is somewhat our Achilles heel. But we can come together, we can keep building each other up, keep talking, keep shooting podcasts, and hopefully that helps to mend some of those things and allow people to come together and look for the best of the industry and not just. I think one of the things that I've noticed in talking to a bunch of flooring contractors and a bunch of installers is the short-sightedness, looking out for the week or for the day or the month, maybe at best, and not really looking out towards it, towards the future. That seems to be getting a little bit better, and I got to give it to the installers. To be honest with you, they're starting to catch a little, at least from my conversations, like, okay, like even the training or the adoption of new technologies and things of that nature. They're a little bit more ambitious than I gave them credit for, a year ago. And I say them, I'm one of them. But at the end of the day, the guys that are putting the floor down on a daily basis, the men and women out there knock it out of the park. I think that the embracing of trying to build a community where we are all together, the manufacturers, the flooring companies, the flooring dealers, and the installers, and we all realize our jobs are to sell and put down great floors. That's the bottom line. So
Yeah.
I think that
Jake's
that
on here
resonated.
says, "Good afternoon, fellas." And you're talking about community. He's one of the guys that's been in it around this area for a long time too, and we rarely see him. We probably see people across the U.S. more than we end up seeing him, and he lives in the same city, right? And it's just how do we end up bridging that gap? And I mean, we've talked about it a few times, and we just have to start planning something. Once you set a date, it's there. Kind of like, I mean, what we did when you came in was, like on the fly, and we still had like 20 people here.
Yeah,
Turned out pretty good.
Just imagine what you can do
Turned
with
out
some
wonderful.
planning.
Some of
Yeah,
them are
installer
kids, but
meetups is, I think, one thing that I'd like to explore here and try to do a few in 2024 is just get together and do the discussion, have a talk, have some fun. And one of the biggest manufacturers in flooring is kind of on board with that idea, like showing that community can come together, not like shoot arrows at each other that we see on Facebook. I know we bring that up a lot, but if you get on Facebook groups at all, it's hard not to bring it up,
yeah. The amount of back and forth, and I don't know
Yeah.
if there's more negativity or positivity on there.
I think it's a pretty good mixture, right? But it's the thing is that on the positive notes, there will still be people trying to bring it down. And then the more you try to like not attack, but like tell these people like, no, man, you just got to be easy on them. They're asking for help, and then all they do is bring their negativity to every single positive post anyways.
Yeah. But you know what? But I think both sides are contagious. If someone starts commenting on a negative one, the people will follow suit until someone changes that, and then you'll see the shift.
Yeah, so be positive, guys. I mean, it's a lot better way to live, I'll tell you that. Yeah, so those installer meetups could be, really cool throughout 2024, not just go career throwing them at different places, but like hopefully it just can be somewhat like what you guys did there, just having an open door and, allowing people to voice their opinions, their excitement, their concerns, and what they want to see change in the industry. But at the
I
same
mean,
time,
we even had a manufacturer here, right? Jeremy from Shonak showed up with some of the most delicious cookies I've ever had in my life. And
those were some good cookies.
it was nice to, I mean, he was there and he was trying to learn about Go Carrera too. So it was nice to have someone there and actually like before he left, he was like, yeah, I've always heard about it. I've never been through like anything about it. He said, this is a really good idea.
Yeah, well,
It's beyond idea. I can tell you that. It's
yeah,
past that point.
it is past the idea point, and one of the key points to all that is building a community of installers, and become installer strong. Ooh, I just said that out, and I might use that
New
this
shirt.
year. Become installer strong. That's a new shirt. But yeah, coming together and having the retailers or the local flooring companies put something together and have the installers come together, and
Yeah.
not just the installers in your company, but like the entire community of installers in your area. And because one thing I found is if it's just my company and those installers do a lot of work for me from a subcontractor level, they want me to be happy and I want them to be happy. And so there's some, I want the guys that maybe don't do any work for my flooring company to talk. And that's why I wanted to come up there and have it up there where there's no strings attached. I just want to hear from the community. And in that particular setting, it was about what can Go Carrera do more to make your life better. What types of deals can we implement that would make the installer's life truly better? And so yeah, but having those community events where we come together, you can see the benefit of it if you go to CFI. I mean, those guys, that's probably the one organization that does really good at coming together.
And Rollins said that that's why the chapters, the CFI chapters, they're trying to bring them back. And that's why they work so well. It's because you don't have to be CFI certified in order to come to the meetups and stuff like that. But it's just showing people that, we are a community, we're in it together. And Tanya said the same thing, that we need to change it's the every man for themselves mentality. And you need to realize that everyone wants everyone to succeed. Like I never look at anyone and like, I hope they fail. It's like, we may not see eye to eye, but I still don't want you to fail. I mean, you never want to have that mentality. Just last week, Thursday, Jimmy reached out to me, Jimmy Salisbury, and he reached out about a project probably a couple months ago, and he was like, asking me about material selections. And then once he made those selections, then he's like, I got the job. And then it came down to, hey, I'm doing this job on Thursday and I really don't feel comfortable. Will you come down and help? He said,
I remember that.
Yeah. And we need a lot more of that too. And that's, so I want to add on to that installer strong, because I was already writing stuff down on here about that, and like an installer town hall or something like that. And I think part of the issue is trying to find neutral ground, right? Like I don't want any other installer to feel like we're trying to just invite you over and then messing up your relationship with any of the other stores you do work with. No, because we're an installer before we're a store, and install local guys, you guys have to understand that that's how we're thinking, right? Like we're not thinking get labor, get more installers. We're thinking we're installers. What were we missing when we did it full time ourselves? And that's where all this is coming full circle. And I think you got to try to get it out there so that way they understand this is all neutral. This is all like at your own will. We're not ruining anything. Other stores, break. Come on. Like if you're another salesperson, come join the party too. Come and learn about some other people. I think that we do need to start doing something like that. We talked about it a few years ago, actually, and just never really followed up. So shame on us.
Well, I think one thing that came out of the meeting down up at your guys' place was get an online forum where we all can communicate and come together
Mhm.
off of Facebook possibly, and just have more of a forum type deal for announcements and things. And that could be a real good place for whether it's CFI or anybody putting on a local chapter, gather event or installer kind of gathering event, put it on there, advertise it on the forum to everybody. And heck, if you're close within 30, 45 minutes, maybe it would attract more people. But that was one of the things that came out of that was, putting a forum together. I want to test that a little bit and make sure it'd be utilized. And if so, I'm happy to build it.
Yeah, I
Put a
think,
forum together where we all can just, voice, have our voices heard.
right,
We're three guys
you're
that
right.
gather every week, but
Having some central location to uh, explore a topic and start a conversation, and then say, hey, all right, guys in this area, we're going to carry this on over here in person. Come on down. You're
Yeah.
right. So then it does give it a better feeling, right? It creates atmosphere before you
Yeah.
even.
Yeah, so that's a few things that I think, we can all agree would be helpful if it could be well attended. Maybe have it launch out of the Go Career app, or have it vice versa. Or I'm open if you'll comment on what you would like to see, just a website version kind of deal, launching out of an application, or how you would like to see a forum be made that could, assembled in a way that could benefit everybody. It also would help if, installers in one side of the country is having problems with the flooring product, and you start to see these trends on a certain flooring product. It's a closed community. We can talk how we want. And maybe the next time somebody grabs it, you got a few tricks and tips that they've learned through that forum that helps them get that product down without, as many problems, or maybe sometimes just steer away from it. I'll leave it at that. So 2024, how's the year looking up in your guys' neck of the woods from a overall, construction, maybe outlook or attitude? Is it still buildings, people still doing stuff?
There seems to be a lot of education stuff coming back around again. I don't know if it's every other year, every 3 years. I mean, there's some every year, right? But now they're cycling some larger projects. Seems to be more government projects coming across the desk right now, and I think that's. I don't know if that's going to be the whole thing, but that's what's there right now. As far as the summer coming, I don't have a metric in front of me for that, and I haven't looked at some of the local some of our local affiliates yet. I haven't really dug too deep into all that. I just go to the meetings and we talk about some stuff very loosely, but that's about it.
Right. I think the ABC, the builders they do their projection every year, and I think that one is slated to go in January or something like that, their meeting. So the last time we went to one of those, they were pretty spot on with everything. I mean, they have the resources and stuff to keep track of that kind of stuff. And I mean, they straight up said in there, they were like, we see commercial going this way, we see residential going this way, and that's almost exactly what happened. And now
So that was commercial going this way and residential going this way.
And that's what happened. And I think like the projections that I've been hearing on other, different forms of media are almost like commercial may end up slowing down a bit, and residential may end up picking up because the loans and stuff the interest rates are starting to kind of level out. And so
we have an election coming up, of course.
so we got
there's a lot of stuff going in 2024, gentlemen. So
Yeah.
yeah, so a few sources say a lot of the similar things. If you chop commercial up into sectors, the healthcare sector is going to continue to stay steady. didn't seem like it was going to have the same growth that it had last year. A lot of that was a rollover from COVID. So a lot of projects that got stopped, and this was nationwide, rolled over into 22 and 23. And so that's why those 2 years were so good for healthcare. But it came off of, they were still increases from 2019. So they were pre-COVID increases. And it looks like that is probably going to stay steady, which is not at least it's not turning down. Government work is in particular, look, I hate to say it, I wish we weren't, but we're in wars. I mean, whether it's proxy wars or actual wars, anytime that happens, the government's, trying to recruit, and they're trying to, remodel. I've seen 5 different barracks in our area go up for bid to remodel the barracks, and that's just in Kansas. So, and these are huge projects. So
That makes a lot of sense too, because now the office personnel that is in charge of, facilitating the rest of it, they're trying to make their place look a lot better too. And that's what I'm
Yeah,
seeing.
it's a recruiting tool.
Yeah.
Hey, come join us. We just
Yeah.
remodeled this stuff.
well, you
Making
seen
their
it in
staff-
student
making their
housing.
staff-
Look at student housing today versus back, 25, 30 years ago. You went to college, and it was it was like the dorm rooms that you see in the old movies. It was not a place that was exceptionally special. Now they are like little condos, super
Yeah.
nice, LVT floors everywhere, beautiful finishes and nice appliances. I mean, it's pretty crazy. And the government's doing the same thing. You got to attract people, and you get them come join, and you get. I was in the military, so just National Guard, but still the idea of like joining, getting paid, and then room and board and all that stuff in the barracks. I mean, you don't pay none of that, and if it's a nice place to stay, and so they're using it as a recruitment tool, possibly, I would assume as well. But those types of projects are seem to be, not only have I seen that happening, it's also kind of the AGC and the AIA, their billings kind of reflect that as well. AIA billings for 2024 seem to be soft compared to 23. So take that for what you will. That can turn around in
Yeah.
In a contract.
just a few months. I mean, it could turn around and all of a sudden 24 be blowing that out. So that's a tough metric to follow. But all in all, the interest rates are going, they've, obviously paused rate hikes. The Fed's been really dovish on their talk and the way that they're, addressing the economy. So it's likely that we see another pause coming up, or even possibly, the first quarter, you start to see, rates coming down. You start seeing that liquidity come back in the market because they start reducing rates. And homeowners are going to start buying because they know they can refinance if it goes down again. And so, as opposed to on an uptick, it starts to really cause problems. The theory is that once you get close to the top, in commercial, it causes a boom, at the first, because everybody's trying to get their projects financed at a rate before the next rate increase.
Yep.
And then as it gets close to the top, or it sounds like it's close to the top, people stop doing things because both residential and commercial, because they believe that, it's going to do this, and you're going to start to, top out, and you don't want to pay a higher rate if I can just wait a few months for my building or something. And then once they start ticking down, you'll start to see those projects coming back to life, and the knowing that they'll just refinance all the way down. So it's an interesting, that's not my theory. It was just something that was been posed to me. I go to a lot of, I'm a member at Stewart and Associates. Our company's a member of Fuse, so I get to go and hear their economic outlook every year, as well as I do a lot of reading on macroeconomics and such. And so, and the AGC does a good job of publishing some of that stuff as well. So it looks like it should be a pretty steady year. I think 2024 will be the year for the go-getters. frankly. I don't think that it's going to be easy, but I think there's going to be work out there, and the go-getters who are paying attention to where the projects are, and doing some research on where to focus their attention, will do pretty well in 2024. Maybe even separate themselves a bit from other installers and other companies and such.
Jorge says that he heard that LLCs in 2024 is going to be a little bit different when you first set them up. And I haven't heard anything about that. I know that like anything other than a C corp, you're going to have to provide the government with information on whoever is more than a 25% owner. So that's one of the big changes. So I mean, it's going to come to light where you're essentially going to know who owns every single small business.
Yeah, beneficial ownership is what they call it. And the banking industry has done that for quite a while. If you open up a bank account for an LLC or a C Corp or an S Corp rather, well, C Corp's always been that way. You got to show the beneficial
Right.
owners, and now it's moving to the S Corps and the LLCs for beneficial ownership, to show whoever's 25% or more, not just the majority owner. I'm not sure if that's what he's talking about or if there's some other things. I don't currently have an LLC, so haven't looked into it recently. But that's one of the other things that seemed to come up, having an accountant on tap inside, available for installers to like utilize, was another, whether it's for questions like that. Hey, I read this article. What's this mean to me?
Right.
With an
That's
accountant,
almost
that was
like,
another thing that came up.
yeah, that's almost like a subscription based model too, because my friend Colin lives in California but works at one of the universities, and he said even one of the university he works at out there does a prepaid legal now to where they pay, I think he said like $14 a month, and you can ask them any questions you want. They review whatever documents. So you figure, I mean, everyone that works in a university, you're looking at a few hundred people, and if you expand that into like Go Carrera, and it's like, yeah, you have thousands of people that are doing that.
That would
Yeah,
be
there was a deal called prepaid legal at one point. I think the for lower needed,
Right.
legal advice. Same thing with accounting. I think those two things could be really beneficial in 2024 for, all installers to have access to that kind of thing.
Yeah, this is
Right.
there was a guy that was in here a week or two ago, and I was like, "Do you have an accountant?" He's like, "No." And I'm like, I mean, there's no shame in that, man. Like when we first started, I did our taxes and everything too, and everything gets to that point when you're like, it's probably not the best idea.
Yeah, have an accountant, access to an accountant and access to an attorney
team,
is,
yeah.
I think, paramount in business. So
you
no
got to say
matter
it in a
what
different
level
way,
you're
though.
at.
You got to say it in a different way. You got to say having someone else who's going to take full responsibility if there's an error is worth its weight in gold. That's how you got to say it, man. That's how you got to attract people. If somebody would have said that to me years ago, it'd been like, oh, okay, so it's messed up. It's their fault. Okay, we'll go with it.
That's why you want an accountant to do your taxes. Not that you're not still ultimately responsible,
Yeah.
but they definitely are gonna. You get a set of reviewed financials, and they have to sign off on that. And depending on the size of your company and how much effort goes into a set of reviewed financials. This is off topic a lot, but it can be anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000-$10,000, but that is them signing off that the information is accurate, and then of course they've gotten your signature that you've provided them with all the accurate information.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, with that, guys, I am going to cut this short. This episode. I hope everybody's doing wonderful out there. Please, if you're watching us on whatever social network or YouTube, give us a like, subscribe to our channel. Possibly leave a comment. That's what helps us out a lot is hearing from from the audience and
Or
allows
one
us
of
not
these
only to,
guys.
yeah, we don't even care. If you don't like it, leave a comment and tell us what you think we're doing wrong. We have thick skin and we can handle that. So,
Yeah, 100%.
Come and
yeah,
join
so
us,
we
make the
look forward to
content
hearing
better,
from you
right?
guys. Amen. Come join us. We're happy to have we're going to have a few episodes in 2024. We're just, I'm going to try to make it to where we can have, maybe max out our new platform to 10 and have, a bunch of as many installers as we can get on there and just do what we do here, which is wrap together and talk about, have a topic and have a bigger group of guys chatting it up. So Happy New Year to everybody.
Oh,
Merry
yeah.
Christmas. I hope everybody had a wonderful
It's
Christmas.
gonna be the new year, too.
Get prepped for the new year. And I'm really excited for 2024 with not only Go Carrera, but as well as the Huddle and what content we're going to try to provide and some of the impacts that we're going to try to have in the industry. We've been here for 77, 78 episodes. We're not going anywhere. We're
Wow.
still here.
Wowza.
We're going to keep going, guys. So join us. And if you want to join us, you can always shoot a email to support at Go Carrera. You can email either one of the fellas too,
Yeah.
and ask to be on the podcast. We'd love to have you on, as long as you're, you keep that positive mindset. We could talk about difficult things and still keep a positive outlook on how to
bring
solve
negative
those
mindset
problems.
too. Bring the negative one too, so that way we can find solutions for you.
Yeah, positive mindset with negative things is one thing.
Yeah.
And we can always deal with that. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope you had a Merry Christmas. It's nice to catch up with you today.
Same.
And, best of luck this coming new year. And hopefully all your wishes come true on Christmas here. So,
Yeah, we'll talk to you in the new year.
Next
all
year.
right. See you next year.
See ya.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.